Coming up next is Dr. Kimberly Taylor. Here's your chance to talk about what matters to you. Although you will receive helpful advice from Dr. Taylor, remember, this is not to be construed as a form of psychotherapy, diagnosis, or treatment, and cannot replace a therapeutic relationship with a mental health professional. You can reach Dr. Taylor by calling 564-1290 or toll free at 866-564-1290. You can also listen live on the internet at drkimtaylorshow.com. So here now is Dr. Kimberly Taylor.
Are you looking for love this Valentine's Day? Do you know what is the essential ingredient in creating the love you really want? Well, here's a hint. Sometimes when we want to be loved, we neglect to acknowledge the love that already exists. If you want to touch someone's heart this Valentine's Day, show your appreciation and let them know how grateful you are. Everyone likes to be appreciated, and when you let others know the ways in which you are grateful, you create a loving relationship. So this Valentine's Day, don't miss the opportunity to let your loved one know how special they are to you. The research shows us that people who practice gratitude on a daily basis are capable of being 25% happier just by being grateful. We can change how we feel by changing how we think and how we perceive others in our life. So I want you to start making a list today of all the things you're grateful for with your loved ones. And then imagine what effect it will have when you share this with them on Valentine's Day. And just stand back and watch their reaction. Why is being grateful so important? Well, it helps us to focus on the positive things that happen to us in our life. Once you become focused on looking for things to be grateful for in your partner, you will find that you begin to appreciate simple pleasures and embrace things that you previously probably took for granted. So this Valentine's Day, look for the love that is there. Often we're blinded by our own need to receive love in a certain way in order for us to feel loved. And unless it is delivered in the package we want, we can often miss out on feeling any love at all. I use the analogy of apples and oranges. If you are needing love in the form of apples and your loved one only gives you oranges, you may feel rejected and say, "I don't think you love me, and if you really did, you'd give me apples." But because they do love you, they look in their basket, but all they have are oranges, and so they give you more oranges. If they had apples, they would give you apples, but all they have are oranges. So you end up feeling rejected, and in turn, reject them. Next time, try standing back and looking at what they do have to offer, and choose to see it as love. Yes, choose to see it as love. Be grateful for what they can offer and stop insisting that the only form of love that you will accept has to come in apple form. Gratitude should not be just a reaction to getting what you want, but an all-the-time gratitude, the kind where you notice the little things and where you constantly look for the good, even in unpleasant situations. So today, start bringing gratitude to your relationships. Instead of waiting for a positive experience in order to feel grateful, start giving thanks for everything and start noticing and appreciating each day's gift. Being grateful can transform you. And remember, when you come from a place of love, you create love all around you. So how are you going to show love on Valentine's Day? What I want you to do is call us up and share your stories of what you have done to show your love on Valentine's Day or what someone has done for you. If you have a love story or a love poem, give us a call. I love to hear how people are spreading the love out there. And what better day than the day before Valentine's Day so that we can all share some good ideas. To love is to care about the feelings of another person, whether it is a lover, a friend, a mother or father, a sister or brother, family member, co-workers. Show someone today how much you appreciate them in your life. And the truth is, you do not have to wait for someone to love you. You can feel love by also giving it away. So give me a call today with whatever's on your mind. This is your time every Thursday afternoon between 2 and 3. Give me a call at 564-1290 or toll free at 866-564-1290. I'll be right back to take your calls. I'm Kimberly Taylor, and you're listening to KZSB AM 1290.
You are listening to Dr. Kimberly Taylor. You can reach her by calling 564-1290 or toll free at 866-564-1290.
During the break, I was talking to Sandy about Valentine's Day. So happy Valentine's Day, Sandy.
Hey, thank you to you, too.
Do you plan on having a good one?
Depends on my level of expectation.
That's probably true.
Yes. We're going to have a nice week. It'll be a good weekend this weekend. How about you?
Oh, yeah. This is what my husband affectionately calls Hell Week because it's Valentine's Day, it is my birthday, and it's our wedding date. So,
oh, my gosh, that's right. It is.
Yeah, so it is all kind of wrapped up in one. So, yeah, I think that I'll be doing really well this week.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, you kind of get the triple whammy. Wow. Well, I hope it's a good one. I'm sure that he's working hard to try to figure out exactly how to make this perfect for you.
Yeah. So let's talk a bit about those who are working really hard to make a Valentine's Day special. I think it's really hard for some who might not have someone that they're in love with at this point in time and that they're single, and there are some people who actually resent this day.
Yes, I can see why, too, because of the way that our culture and the media promotes the need to be in relationship with somebody and at the very least at least have a date for the night. That makes it very difficult for people who either don't want to or don't have somebody to share that kind of an experience with. It's all about the romantic love. I think we should start thinking about it a little bit differently. I think it would be important to start thinking about it from more just of a challenge to think about love and grow your capacity not only to give it but to receive it.
Well, I think for a lot of people to take this day and to just spend some time taking care of yourself and treating yourself with love, with honor, and to really feel good about yourself, because the truth is that you really truly cannot love someone else, or you can't really receive that love unless you love yourself first. And there's a lot of power in that. There's a lot of truth in that.
Very much so. Hearing you say that, it has a ring to it that maybe it can be very selfish, and that's not what you're talking about. You're not talking about being selfish,
No.
selfishly loving yourself, but more developing the capacity to receive it. And if that's the case, what does that look like?
Well, what it means is that I think that you have to see yourself as a person worthy of love, because I think so often we spend a lot of time looking at all of our faults and seeing that we're not perfect in some way. So it's really being able to love yourself, to ask yourself what you need, to ask how you can show your self-love that day, and that just to do something on this day that makes your heart sing, that makes you feel good about you.
You know, I think it's interesting, Kim, thinking about how, I don't know about in your family, but I know in mine, the idea of being able to give and receive love, it's a concept, it's kind of an abstract concept that a lot of people don't really have dinner conversations about, right? What does it look like to feel loved, or what does it look like to give love? And I'm thinking that book that I think his name was Dr. Gary Chapman, he wrote a book on the 5 love languages and talks about in that book how important it is to identify how you feel most loved. Is it through acts of service? Is it by somebody giving you a gift? Is it, I think one was word of affirmations, being affirmed by the people in your life that show you love. Being able to know what those things are in order for you to feel love, but more importantly, or maybe not even more, but just as importantly, finding out from the people that you love, whether it's your children or your spouse or a parent or a friend, how they feel most loved. What is their love language? How do they feel most loved? And being able to develop that. And I think this week, what a great week to start having conversations like that and start to get our kids involved in those kinds of thought process.
Yeah, and I think that a great question that we can all ask, whether it's our kids or our friends or our partners, is what do I do that makes you feel that I love you? So that you are
Mm,
really gearing it toward doing things that you know that they like rather than just doing things and think that they do like them. And it just helps because you might be surprised to know that just the small things that you do are the things that make someone feel like you love them.
right. It's like the proverbial, look, I gave you a football for your birthday.
and
Right?
so
Yeah.
you should be happy, right?
And you will like it. You will like it.
Yes, yes.
And can I borrow it? Yeah.
So I sure hope that you have a Valentine's Day and that you are with the ones that you love.
Me too. I wish that for you too.
Thanks. So I am going to toss it out there for those who would like to share their stories or talk about love. This is the place to call in today. You can reach me at 564-1290 or at 866-564-1290. I'm Kimberly Taylor, and you're listening to KZSB AM 1290. Okay, we're going to come back, and we're on the phone now with our first caller. We're going to be talking to Terry. Okay, we're on the phone now with Terry. Hi, Terry. Welcome to the program.
Hi, Dr. Taylor. The reason I'm calling today is I recently got laid off, and I've been at my company 6 years, and I'm just extremely scared, overwhelmed, and just overtaken with fear that I'm not going to be able to find anything.
Mm-hmm. And what makes you think you won't find something?
Basically, I've worked with people for years that are looking for employment, and that's kind of what my skill set is to help them. So I think part of it is just I see the economy. I see how long it's taking some people a year or more to find anything, and I'm just really scared. I feel like I'm doing all the footwork, like I'm applying online, I'm calling people and everything, but so far I haven't gotten any calls, and I'm just really scared that, I'll end up with looking and looking and looking, and it just seems so stressful.
Okay, you've said 3 times so far that you're really, really scared.
Yes.
Okay. That's going to be part of your process. Of course, part of you is going to be scared. But I also hear this other part of you that is doing the homework, making the calls, doing the resumes, making contacts, right?
Right.
Okay. And how is that coming?
It's going okay, but I feel really frustrated. Like I feel like I do my best to do a great cover letter and fill out everything completely and personalize it, tailor it, to the job description, and I'm not getting any calls. And
Okay, and how long have you been looking now?
only a couple weeks.
Only a couple weeks. What did you expect?
I think I'm just having problems letting go of a job that I really, really liked and the people that I liked, and it just was so unexpected. I just didn't think about it that much, that it would happen to me.
Okay, so there was not a lot of warning, and you're still in a bit of shock,
Not at all. Mm-hmm.
and you're still reeling a bit from that. But I'd also once more want to point out, but look how much you're doing in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I do. I feel like I'm doing everything that I can. I'm still sort of grieving losing that job, and I'm fearful because it was such a good fit for me. I liked everyone I worked with. I really liked my boss, and now the fear of going into a new environment, if I get an offer, the fear of going into a new environment where maybe it won't be as comfortable for me. That scares me.
Okay. And so really the thing that I hear is the main thing going on here is your fear of the fear, your fear of discomfort, your fear of the
Yes.
unknown, your fear of
Yes.
not having the answer in front of you today.
That's exactly it. I'm just scared. I can't sleep. It's just consuming me. Like all I do is think about it, and then I end up just frustrated and tired and depressed because I feel like I know it hasn't been very long, but yes, everything I've told people for years, for myself, it's hard for me to realize that something good's going to happen out of it.
Okay, because something happened to you that you did not count on, you weren't expecting. However, you are seeing this as something bad, as opposed to maybe this is a good thing. Maybe something good broke apart because something better is coming. Do you know that the Chinese, that their word for crisis is opportunity? Here's an opportunity for you to take your skill set, and you have skills, correct?
I do.
Okay,
I do.
and do you feel pretty good about those skills?
I feel good about some of them. There's some that I need to definitely work on because I haven't had that actual experience in the last several years. So there's certain things I do, but there's definitely like some computer skills that I could brush up on and learn.
Okay, so now you have time to do that. You have time to do your job search, and you have time to hone up on some skills. This is an opportunity for you to step it up, to evolve, to take it to the next level. This is going to come down to how you think about it, because the truth is, Terry, you will always be fearful, but if you let that fear get you into a state of being depressed, that it's really going to stress you out, that you're going to think about things in a negative way, then yes, you could go through this process that way, but what if you could turn that around and see that this is an opportunity, that you could maybe anticipate it with a bit of excitement because you're going to be changing and you're going to create something that works even better for you.
That's a much better way to look at it. I think that would change the whole dynamic of it if I could just look at it like this is great. It's time to do something different. And fear, it's just, I guess fear has dominated a large part of my life. Change and goodbyes are hard for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess, rather than look at it like that, just look at it like this could create a whole new set of skills for me, new opportunity to meet new people. And, I just have to change the way I'm thinking about it.
Exactly. And that's the part that you have power over during this period, that you get to control how you think about it, and how you think about it is absolutely going to change how you feel about it. So that you want to know, walking into the door, when you do get that interview, that you're going to walk in there positive. You're going to walk in there thinking that you have something to offer, that you feel good about yourself. Do you have a pen and paper there?
I do.
Okay. This is what I want you to write down. I heard this quote the other day, and I just want you to write it down, put it at the top of the page. Whatever you do that you're doing within your day, keep this up front so that you can keep going back to it. So write down, if you think you can, or if you think you can't, you're right.
Wow. Okay. It's very powerful. I really have to change the way I'm looking at the whole thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because how you do will determine the outcome. And that's in your hands. That is in no one else's hands. That is in your hands. If you think you can, or if you think you can't, you're right.
Well, I wrote that down, and I'm going to keep it in front of me every day and just try to really live that and change the way I've been thinking about this. Thank you so much.
Okay.
I think that will really help me.
Okay. What I would like you to do is to really take this and give us a call back. Let us know how this process goes.
Okay, Dr. Taylor, I sure will. Thank you.
Okay. Good luck.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye. I'm Kimberly Taylor, and you're listening to KZSB AM 1290.
You are listening to Dr. Kimberly Taylor. You can reach her by calling 564-1290 or toll free at 866-564-1290.
We are talking about love and gratitude, and how to actually see the love that is there and to be grateful for what you have. I saw a sign once that said, gratitude turns what we have into enough. So what do you love most about your Valentine? What I would love is for you to give us a call and share your love story. So we're going to go back to the phones right now. Hi, we're on the phone now with Karen. Welcome to the program, Karen.
Thank you. Thank you for taking my call. I just wanted to talk about some of the favorite things that I've done or that my husband has done for Valentine's Day that have really meant the most to me.
Great.
And one of the ones that I remember the most is when he woke up in the morning, I would have a little heart for every step that he would take on the carpet. And the heart would have a poem on each little heart, and he'd pick it up as he walked out. And then he had for me rose petals all over the bed, and when I awakened, I could smell the rose petals, and it just was so romantic. And then he put a rose every step of the way as I walked out of the room, and I thought that was very romantic.
Oh, my God, Karen, this sounds like romance was in the air.
It was in the air. I really think it was and is. And then at the end, there was a big bouquet of roses for me and balloons and a card. And
he went all out.
And then the message was, you're all packed. Get in the car. We're leaving.
Oh, how wonderful.
And that was wonderful. And we went on. I had no idea where we were going, but we went up the coast and went to a place in Big Sur. And it was wonderful. It was everything about it was romantic. I had champagne in the refrigerator. He put it in the cooler in the car, and we had bread and cheese and fruit. It was fabulous.
It sounds exciting. I think we're all getting a bit hot here just hearing about it.
So I just wanted to share that. That was one of my favorite Valentines.
Well, I think that he is a keeper, and it sounds great. Thanks for sharing your story.
Thank you.
All right, Karen. Happy Valentine's Day. Take care. I'm Kimberly Taylor, and you're listening to KZSB AM 1290. We're on the phone now with Sarah. Hi, Sarah. How can I help you today?
I'm dealing with sexual abuse from a childhood, and it's affecting me today. I'm 67 years old, and this took place it started when I was about 4 years old.
Okay. And how is it affecting you today?
I see sex as a waste of time. I love my husband and all. When it comes to sex, it's just not anything that I'm not interested in anymore.
And what makes you think it's from your past? Has this always been, or is this something new?
No, it has not always been. It's just really creeped up in the last few years.
Okay. And when you say the last few years, what was going on a few years ago?
Really, nothing's going on. It just seems like I'm not as busy as I was when I was a mother or dealing with life in general, and now I have a lot of time. I think about it, and it just seems that is seeming to affect me. It seems like everything around me has to do with sex, not in a positive way, but more in a negative way.
Mm-hmm.
Jokes, anything on television. It's not how I see sex to be.
What you're telling me right now is that this changed for you, that these thoughts only started to come to you a few years ago.
Right.
Okay.
And I keep thinking it has to do with my childhood.
Mm-hmm.
Because I look back on my years, and it just was getting worse and worse and worse. And then I went and had a child out of wedlock, and sex seems to be, I'm not too sure how to explain it. Not how I expect it, or I think it should be. It's more a joke for people.
But prior to all of this, you and your husband did have a satisfying sex life?
Yeah.
Had you ever gone into any kind of therapy prior to this to deal with the sexual abuse issues?
I have gone into hypnotherapy.
Okay. Is that the only type?
No, I tried to go to a counselor, but that didn't work out very well. She and I clashed, and so I didn't try another counselor.
What I would say to you is that there may very well be some feelings that are coming up now that you have suppressed for many, many years. And now that you have more time in your life and you are at a stage in life that we usually think back and we review and we think about where we've been and where we're going, it may just be a time for you now to go into a therapy, to just deal with some of the past issues, not in a way that you have to bring them all back, but in a way that you can have some kind of resolution with them and some kind of peace about what happened, and to be able to come full circle with that. When we hold on to some of these negative thoughts, they then start to kind of stir up and get distorted and start to have a life of their own. And it's in the ability to really let your thoughts out, the good, the bad, the ugly, and really let them out and process them in the light of day, that helps to do some healing around some very painful wounds that you have.
That sounds like something I need to do, yes.
When you say that you were abused, was it by someone that you knew?
The initial one was a stranger, but the other ones were family. And no, they're not in my life.
What I'm thinking is, because you say this has all come up a few years ago, I'm really wondering what it was that triggered all of this. Was there someone talking about the family, talking about these people? Was there something you heard?
Just different things that are happening. It just keeps kicking in, creeping up.
Give me an example of what are those things that just creep up?
I'm trying to think back. Well, I think the biggest one is the fact that my husband masturbates, and that was my first experience with a stranger when I was, probably 4 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what kicked in.
Was that something new you found out about him, or did you just walk in?
I just walked in.
Okay. And so that started to trigger the past.
Yes.
And how did you feel when you saw your husband doing that?
Extremely uncomfortable, less than worthy, all kinds of negative thoughts crawled in.
Okay, because you associated him doing that as having something to do that was lacking in you?
Yes.
And what might that be?
I was not satisfying.
Mm-hmm.
But evidently that was a habit he had since a childhood. But the thing is, that was my first experience with sex, and it was ugly at the time. It wasn't ugly. It was strange and wondering, and then all of a sudden it's there again. It's like not a very good feeling.
But there are a lot of mixed feelings that you have about that, because what it triggered is the first time that it happened to you when you were very young and very powerless and unable to do something about it, but it sounds like also at the same time very curious.
Yes.
Okay. And so when you saw your husband doing it, were you curious at that point in time or just upset?
No. Upset.
All right. And what were the thoughts that you had about that?
I was lacking. I was not important. I was not fulfilling my end of the deal, you might say.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't make me feel guilty. It made me feel worthless.
Worthless. Okay.
Not guilty.
So that's what it triggered, a sense of feeling worthless.
Yes.
Sometimes without doing some of the work around very painful experiences that happened to you when you were a child, you can get triggered in the present. And it's interesting that this all brought out for you was your sense of being worthless, which for any victim, that's how they feel, because they feel like someone is doing something to them and that they have no value. They're just being used.
Yes.
And because that feeling is so painful, it sounds like what you've done is disconnected from those feelings by moving away from having any kind of sex, by thinking of it as just a joke. There's no connection. It's meaningless.
Yes.
And yet, that's not the truth. It's just what you're needing to do right now to protect yourself from feeling some of these feelings.
Yes,
Okay.
very much so.
Yeah. So this would be a place to really be able to take that into therapy and to explore those feelings and to look at yourself as when you were a child, you were victimized and that you had no power back then to stop what was going on, to make sense of what was going on. And all you did was just carry those feelings with you into adulthood. And you need to be able to find a way now to let go of feeling the feelings of being a victim and move into the feelings of being able to take back power.
I think I'll give that a try.
Part of taking back your power here is that when you walked in on him and he was masturbating, that perhaps you can go to him and say, This happened and I felt very uncomfortable with that because I started to think that you were doing that because I wasn't giving you something that you did need. And I want to be able to talk about that because it brought up a couple of issues for me. One, it brought up my past and what happened to me. And two, that I do love you and I do care about you and I want to be able to work on this. But I need you to be able to work on this together with me because it's something that we have going on between the two of us.
I think I'll give that a try. Okay, thank you. I appreciate your time.
All right, and thank you very much for the call. I'm Kimberly Taylor, and you're listening to KZSB AM 1290. Okay, we have an email here, and it is from Amy, and she says, I'm 16 years old, and I've been together with my boyfriend for about 8 months. I tell him that I want to be just friends, and we should see other people because we are so young. But he says he does not want to see others, so then I stay and get back together with him. I feel like we have always been together and worry about being alone, but I also don't feel good all the time just spending time with him. What should I do? Well, Amy, I think that what you are feeling is very important and that you really need to pay a lot of attention to what is going on for you. You sound like you like your boyfriend, but still a part of you is not feeling good about being with him. So maybe the thing that is keeping you there is that you are afraid to be alone. And what I would tell you is to really listen to that voice inside of you. Staying with someone because you are afraid to be alone is really not the same as loving someone. So you have to listen to that discomfort because it is your knowing it's not right and you want to be more independent now. You have to listen to that discomfort and let it guide you through your fear. What I would tell you is to tell him that you just want to be friends. You like him as a person, but that you have changed. You're only 16, and that you need to spend less time with him and then leave. When you act against what you know is your truth, you can start to feel trapped and very anxious. So you need to learn to trust that voice inside you and take some action to do what's right for you. We'll be right back after the break. I'm Kimberly Taylor, and you're listening to KZSB AM 1290.
You are listening to Dr. Kimberly Taylor. You can reach her by calling 564-1290 or toll free at 866-564-1290.
Hi, we're on the phone now with Lorraine. Hi, welcome to the program.
Hi, thank you.
What's on your mind?
Okay, so I've recently just discovered that I'm pregnant, and I've been saving up money to move out. I have enough for the first month's rent and the deposit, and I'm working, but I need another job to take care of myself and a baby. But I would really don't know if I just want to rush out of my mother's house or if I really think that it's the responsible thing to do to move. So I wanted to seek some advice.
Okay, and how old are you?
I'm 22.
You're 22. Okay, and the father of the child is with you or not?
He's with me, but he's not financially prepared for this either.
Okay, And so is your plan to move out with him and to start this family and to both get a job to support this at this time?
Yes, that is the plan, but I'm not certain if he'll be able to find a job. So I want to do it on my own, and then once he gets a job, he can move in and help.
Okay.
But I don't want to be carrying another person's weight.
Do you mean his weight is what you're talking about, correct?
Yes.
So you're both 22. You're pretty young. This sounds like it was a surprise to you.
Yes, it was very unexpected.
What you are wanting to do now is to take responsibility and to find a job and learn how to support yourself and this child and hope that the father is going to do the same thing.
Yes.
At this point in time, it sounds like you are unprepared really to move out. Is that correct? That you'd still have to save more money?
Yes. Well, I have an apartment that's ready for me to move into, and I know that I can because I have a couple jobs already, and so I can make just about enough for the rent, but I need one other job to be safe and not struggle completely. And by the time rent's due, to be stressed and worried. So no, I'm not financially there, but I'm pretty good at finding side jobs and making it happen for me. But I'm not sure, since I'm going to be pregnant, if it'll be as easy as it has been in the past.
Okay. Well, it is not going to be easy, and your life is drastically going to change. Is your mom okay with you still living there with her?
Yes, she'd prefer me to stay here. She really enjoys me living with her.
Well, then that's good, because right now you have to think about more than yourself. But within that, you have to think that you also have to keep yourself healthy. And if you're trying to find 1, 2, 3 jobs and stressing out and worrying just making ends meet at the end of each month, that's not going to make you feel very good about yourself. And that it might be a good idea to stay with your mom and save up your money.
Okay.
There are a lot of things that I think that you have to probably start to ask people about, because you're 22, you barely know how to take care of yourself, and now you're going to be called on to take care of a child, and that there are going to be a lot of expenses. And how are you going to be able to set up your life so that you can care for this child? You can't be working 3 jobs and still take care of the child when the child is born.
Yeah.
So you have to have more of a plan about how all of this is going to work out. And perhaps this is bringing the father into the picture now and really sitting down and having him also sit down with your mom and any other adult who's gone through this to kind of help you plan and look at the pros and cons about what you might need to do and what you might need to think about right now, so that you can make a really good plan in order to establish yourself and the family that you're going to start.
Well, thank you. That sounds like that just really helps me in my situation. I think you're correct.
Okay.
So, thank you so much.
Okay. It is hard to figure all this out at 22, but if you have a mom who is willing to help you to kind of plan this out, it seems like taking it step by step and not going into something really quickly and then finding out at the end of it that you can't do it. Maybe to set yourself up and to save some money and to really look at what you're going to be needing to tend to once this child is born is going to be the best step to take right now.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
All right. Thank you for your call.
Yeah, thank you for the advice.
Okay. Bye-bye.
You have a good day.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. I'm Kimberly Taylor, and you're listening to KZSB AM 1290. So we're going to talk to Richard now because he has a love story or something about Valentine's Day that he wants to share.
Well, it was a long time ago when I first met my wife, my present wife, and we were driving 2 cars, and she worked out at one of the clinics in Scottsdale, and I had this idea of filling the car with something, thinking, oh, how neat. So I got these Mylar balloons, and I had a second key to the car. Mm-hmm. So I drove all the way out there, and it was a fair distance to drive, and filled the car. And she came out and was utterly surprised about this. And I think that if my memory serves, afterwards we we had to take the car home and get the balloons out before we could go anywhere. But we went out to dinner that mm-hmm. evening. It was just really nice. I think some of the best Valentine's Days, thank
mm-hmm.
you, have been like that, where they're kind of spontaneous, they're different than any other day. Mm-hmm. And then just the other one that I've had where we actually rented a room at the Ritz-Carlton in Phoenix. And I actually got a dozen roses. I didn't give them to her. I actually spent time pulling the petals off, and we put them in the tub with water. Mm-hmm. And she got to experience that.
It sounds very romantic.
It was. It was mm-hmm. very nice. Mm-hmm. I think that the best way to approach Valentine's Day is just to try to take the pressure off and just, be spontaneous in that regard. Mm-hmm. So those are the 2 most memorable ones.
Well, it sounds like fun, and it sounds like it was something that you both enjoyed.
Oh, very much so.
Yeah.
Very much so.
Well, and I think that's what giving from your heart is to do something that somebody else will like and to have fun with it.
Yeah.
So happy Valentine's Day to you too this year. So we're going to go to our last break, and then we'll be back for the closing. I'm Kimberly Taylor, and you're listening to KZSB AM 1290. So I would really like to thank you for joining me today, and I really hope that all of you find love and that you also give love this Valentine's Day. And just think what a better place this whole world would be if we only tried to do that every single day. What I would tell you is to set your intention today to come from a place of love, and I guarantee that it will change your life. So I would welcome all of your comments and any questions that you have about the show. You can also just email them to me at drkim@drkimtaylorshow.com. And now you can also go to my website to listen to past shows, as well as to find out how to download my podcasts on iTunes. So just go to drkimtaylorshow.com. It's all there. These shows are also rebroadcast on Thursdays at 10 p.m. and Sundays at noon, right here at KZSB AM 1290. So as we close out the week and head into Valentine's Day, let me express my love and gratitude to the team behind the scenes who love and support me. That's to Stan and Sandy, Sue and Christopher. I love you all dearly. And to you, the listening audience who does encourage me and inspire me to show up each day. And I also want to thank you, Richard Dugan, for being here at the station, and of course Les Carroll, because no one could ask for a better cheerleader than Les Carroll. My heartfelt thanks to all of you. So I will be here as I am every single Thursday between 2 and 3, and I hope that you will be here too. And I really would like to encourage you to join in, to make your calls, to make some notes during the week. And if there is something on your mind, something you would like to talk about, and something that you would like to work through, just give me a call here. Meanwhile, I want to tell you to have a great week, have a happy Valentine's Day, and make it a weekend of love. And don't forget, nobody else has to change in order for you to get better.